Alien meeting. Alien meeting. Welcome back to Alien Meeting, everybody. Your first, the best podcast on Moravian campus.
For ghouls, goblins, and little green creatures.
Who would like to introduce today's topic?
Yo, my name is Dr. Monster, and today we will be talking about goblins.
Ooh,
Ooh.
goblins.
I've seen a couple running around, I swear to God.
They scurry.
You ever see those goblin videos, those top 10 goblin footage videos on YouTube?
The top 10 goblin founds.
I
Yeah.
really like the one where it's like that. If I ever saw that thing, I would stomp it into a small brown stain. Except it would be a green stain because it's a goblin, not a little creature.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the first question and the most pressing question is, do you think you could beat a goblin in a fight? Like a little, we'll say 4'5" green goblin creature running around the floor trying to take your like treats and snacks.
4'5".
Or,
Yeah.
I feel like goblins are smaller than
Yeah,
that.
I was thinking like maybe like
Yeah,
3
like-
feet.
Hold on, I'll go to my Goblopedia.
Dude, I don't know, man. I feel like they're tiny creatures.
They kinda
That's it.
are.
Oh yeah,
I
they're
don't-
3
Yeah,
foot,
they're
and
3
three and a
foot.
half,
Okay.
3 and
All right, so
So-
I think everyone here has seen Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire.
yes.
Yeah.
So I think for a goblin, I think you could kind of just do what Kong did to the baby monkey,
And
where he just
pick it
kind of
up.
threw it around and like threw it at people.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, the thing about goblins that's interesting is like they're monsters, but like I'm not afraid of a goblin.
No.
Nah.
I think if a goblin pulled up,
Well,
I think if a goblin pulled up on me, I could beat it in a fight easily.
wait, hold up. Can you pull up messy highlights?
This is
real
my
quick?
favorite goblin. Yeah, I got you.
Why are we pulling up messy highlights?
Just pull up messy highlights.
It's for reference. It's for
Okay.
reference.
Well, is he the same height as a goblin?
I kind of see where he's going with
No,
this.
just pull up.
I kinda see where he's going with
messy
For our audio listeners, we're watching an ad about Susan Wild for Congress.
Yeah.
We don't endorse this, or we might. I don't know.
This is for the visual listeners.
Oh, okay.
highlights.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking little green ghouls, by the way. That's the kind of goblins we're talking. Little green ghouls, Harry Potter goblins, the ones that J.K. Rowling had no right to make and base off those people. That was a
All right, you see that right there?
yeah.
You see when he kicked the ball?
Yeah.
That's me to a goblin.
Okay, I kind of thought
Oh.
I have a new theory.
Yeah.
What if Messi uses goblin magic to be good at soccer?
He might. That might very well be what's
He-
happening.
You know what? That might be true.
I
'Cause-
think
yeah.
we've never seen Messi and a goblin in the same room together.
I like to imagine that there are little there are like mini goblins that are like
Yes,
in his
yes.
like in his feet, like in his cleats.
Okay, guys,
That like control him.
look at this soccer field. For our audio listeners, the soccer field is green.
There
What-
very well could be goblins.
There could be goblins blended in with the soccer field. And hold on, wait. World Cup goblin. Okay, wait. There? Are there goblins at the World Cup?
There might be. I'm not sure.
What's this
I
one?
can't
World
say for
Cup
sure.
2019 licensed There's a goblin.
and it's a goblin.
That is a little goblin.
He's in like a prickly pear costume. NAF goblin mascot in metal.
So
Wait, goblin, and there's a picture of Messi.
Oh my
wait,
God.
oh my god,
Wait, World
the
Cup
jinking
and there's
goblin of
Messi.
wonder and delight.
Wait.
Okay, guys, did we just discover something?
I think we did.
I
We're
think-
5 minutes into this
I think we
to this
did.
episode, and
And
we already.
we already made a connection.
So is Lionel Messi 3 goblins stacked on top of each other, or is he using goblin magic?
I think there are goblins, like in a radius underneath him where his shadow would be,
Okay.
and they are, like, they're like becoming a platform
Okay.
that
okay.
just makes him so much better.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree. I agree. So to what extent hold on. What color is a football field?
I'm pretty sure it's green.
I also, from my previous knowledge, I also think it's green.
So to what extent do goblins run professional sports?
Well, wait. Do you guys remember that one Teen Titans Go episode?
No.
Pull up Teen Titans Go soccer episode.
Oh my God! Wait. This is one with goblins, isn't it?
Yeah, and the goblins are in the ball.
Oh my
They're
God!
in the ball, and they
Oh my god.
make soccer fun. That's like the whole thing is what they do, and then they face them.
Go to images. Go to images.
Go to images right now.
Oh my God!
Oh my god.
King Goal, and he's a goblin.
So are you telling me that goblins, they are what makes professional sports so entertaining? Do they
Well,
exist inside of basketballs, inside of footballs,
I
inside
don't
of soccer
know.
balls?
I don't know. Pull up LeBron James Goblin. Because soccer, I'm 100% sure they're the ones like controlling that.
LeBron James caught ordering round of leaf blowers. Oh my god. He's a goblin.
Oh my
LeBron
God.
James revealed as a goblin in Marvel's Secret Invasion.
Okay. For our audio, for our visual listeners, for our audio listeners,
Mhm.
LeBron James in this image is a green guy. But okay, what I don't get is how is he so tall for like that of a goblin?
Mhm.
Well, I think I may have a theory.
Okay, what's your goblinoid theorem?
So, as we all know, the hit movie Spider-Man from 2001, I believe.
I'll fact check.
2002. Thank you, Johnny
Mhm.
Cryptid.
Okay.
We all know Willem Dafoe became Spider-Man's arch nemesis, the Goblin,
I'm following.
the Green Goblin. I think LeBron James might have access to this goblin gas that Willem
Mm.
Dafoe had.
So,
Mm.
do you start life as a normal man and then become a goblin, or are you born a goblin?
I think if you're that height, or if you're that tall as a goblin, I think you start out human.
I do believe that.
But if you're like normal goblin height, then I think everything checks out.
I
That
agree.
You are an actual goblin.
Okay, so any person below like 4 foot, we'll say,
Yeah.
they're a goblin.
Yeah, I think that's fair to,
Does the
to say, at least to some extent. There has to be some other qualities besides height that
I
makes
think-
a goblin a goblin.
I think green pigment.
Green pigment
Green.
is one.
I think-
the teeth.
I
They
think
have, like-
Johnny Cryptid has something to say.
Johnny Cryptid, what's on your mind?
I believe that another way to identify a goblin
Okay, following.
is to observe a person's. It's an elaborate test,
Okay.
and as a former goblin hunter in back home,
In
I always-
Kazakhstan.
yeah, Kazakhstan. I used to leave M&M trails, but
Mhm.
I know they preferred Reese's Pieces the most.
Okay.
Mm.
So, are you saying goblins kind of prefer little sweet treats as well?
Yes.
Sort of that deal.
I think. Can we search up what candy LeBron eats?
Does
I think that's a great idea.
James let's see. LeBron James eats red
Mm.
vines on bench. He likes licorice.
He really likes
Licorice.
licorice.
Interesting.
Does that make him a hobgoblin?
Maybe because there are
Or,
different
like,
variations
yeah.
of goblin. Wait, possibly this is due to the human genome being influenced by the goblin genome, and maybe Willem Dafoe likes licorice too. Maybe this is a certain trait. Maybe pure goblins like M&Ms and Reese's Pieces, but maybe these crossbreeds with the goblin gas, maybe they prefer licorice.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Whoa, look at his teeth. Those are pure goblin teeth right there.
Those are goblin
That's
teeth.
I've
what
been-
I'm saying. The
I've
teeth,
been getting
man.
I got the dental records of like thousands of goblins before we even came here. And
Mhm.
these things, these are goblin teeth. You could tell by the way the canines and the molars, they protrude, whereas the two front teeth, they kind of go up a little bit. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's perfect for eating candy like goblins do.
That is.
Mm.
Now
was
hang
in-
on. Where does Cheddar Goblin fall in all this?
I never considered that. So,
Cheddar
Cheddar
Goblin. He
Goblin.
loves his cheddar.
He does.
Can we pull up the video?
yes.
For our audio listeners, we're about to pull up a famous video, Cheddar Goblin full commentary.
Classic.
It's Cheddar Goblin.
Oh, this is from the hit movie Mandy, starring Nicolas Cage, by the way. Oh. Oh my God.
He's about to give them.
Oh, he's
the
giving them
cheese.
cheddar- yeah, he's giving them
Yeah,
mac and
the mac
cheese.
and cheese.
That's awesome. Oh my God, that's.
We love Cheddar Goblin. We're getting a
Oh,
question.
okay, we're getting
We're
questioned.
getting a question.
I have the question right here.
Okay.
Do any of you think there are goblins walking among us on campus? And to that I say 100% yes.
I do
100%.
believe that, yes.
100%.
I think there are goblins in areas we don't even know. There's goblins everywhere. At my bank, in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I think they might be on Makovic Field.
I think, yeah, there's definitely goblins under
There's
Makovic Field.
definitely like underneath living there.
Well-
there could be goblins in this room right now.
You know about how
watching
there's
us.
like hidden tunnels everywhere in like the
Yeah.
United States? Like there's like hidden tunnels in Disney World. And
Yeah.
in my home of Wilkes-Barre,
Yeah.
there's tunnels underneath the square there. And I've seen it actually. I've seen goblins running around there,
Mm-hmm.
kind of in like a daze, bent over kind of slump,
Mhm.
kind of like you see the goblins in Kensington doing.
Mhm.
And
Oh yeah.
I think that I don't know.
There's a lot of them in Kensington.
Do you think they're like that in Kensington because they get like they have too much candy?
Maybe.
Do you think that's
Maybe.
possible?
That might be true. You know,
Yes, yes.
back in my hometown, there's definitely a lot. You know,
Oh yeah,
'cause
yeah.
there's an M&M factory in my hometown, and
Oh, they get
they
yeah.
get crazy over there.
yeah. No, I
You
bet.
can hear them. You can hear them at night sometimes when they go in, and it's like
I think Johnny
It's
Cryptid has
scary.
something to say.
I
can
think
see him.
I see him brewing something.
No, nothing. No, no.
My hypothesis is due to the geographic location
Okay.
of the Lehigh Valley, there's probably, I believe, a big cave system along the Appalachians.
Mhm.
I believe that we live in an area where goblins are most prominent.
How many goblins have you? Now, you're a goblin hunter. How did that all start?
So I'm a big fan of Reese's, and one day they were skittering by, and I also had M&Ms, so I
Mhm.
left a trail.
Mm-hmm.
Only one goblin followed the M&M trail. All the others followed the Reese's Pieces trail,
Yes.
Mm.
and I caught them.
Okay.
Now they're working at an H&M shop
Mhm.
where they make sweaters for us now.
So you kind of took our idea of like Sasquatch Walmart and you made it with goblin slave labor.
Well, no, not slave labor, but they enjoy working at H&M very much.
Okay, they enjoy working at H&M.
Yes, they're very productive.
They're very productive. Do they get breaks or anything like that? What is the life of an H&M goblin entail?
Well, it's like a life tenure. You don't exactly.
So they're
Goblins have different mindsets towards labor, and I think that to them, they love making H&M sweaters now more than anything.
Wow.
I could see. Do they sing songs like goblin songs?
Yes, they do.
What's one of their like favorite ones to sing.
Their favorite song, as of now, is Finito.
Classic goblin. Hold on. How do they know that
Oh.
song?
That is true. How do they know that song?
Have goblins broken in?
Chief Keef Finito.
Is Chief Keef a goblin?
He might be.
Hold on.
Oh wait, I'm getting another question here.
Okay.
Yes.
It says, "What are your guys' opinions on gremlins as opposed to goblins?"
Ooh.
I think, personally, Gizmo's my boy. That little gremlin creature.
Mhm.
But if we're talking the other gremlins, they're unpredictable and they're untamed, whereas goblins are more civilized.
That's true.
And I've been doing like goblin gremlin like skull theory, where I
Mhm.
examine the bumps in the goblins and the gremlins' heads
Mhm.
in like their skulls. And goblins like tend to be more inclined to do work and be passive to humans, and I guess that's why they work so well at that H&M.
Yeah.
Whereas gremlins, you look at them and they're a little more smart, they're a little more nimble, but they're also a little more chaotic.
That is
I
true.
agree.
Yeah.
I feel like goblins, they have like, they get a goal and they like devote themselves to that goal.
Yeah.
Gremlins just like making mischief just to make mischief.
No, I agree.
you
I
know?
think, you give a mouse a cookie, it's gonna ask for more. You give a gremlin a cookie, it's gonna turn evil. It's that simple. It's that simple. Oh my god.
And yet, a goblin would make you an H&M sweater for a cookie.
That is
He
true.
would.
He would. He
So
would.
does
make
that mean you pay them in cookies?
You pay them in Reese's, but they'll take anything they can get their hands on.
Okay.
Could you say that again for our audio listeners? Just right into the mic.
I believe that goblins, they have an appetite more for Reese's, but they'll take anything
Mm.
for just as long as you let them, make H&M sweaters.
Hold on, guys.
Interesting.
I think that this music industry thing runs deeper than we think it does.
Wait. I forgot
Goblin?
about that.
Tell me why.
Tyler the Creator
Has an album called
called
Goblin.
Goblin.
Now,
He does.
is he trying to tell us something or warn us of something?
I think he might be working with the goblins.
Are you sure? He did wear green.
He
He
did.
did.
He did.
What other? Hold on. Let's
Wait,
listen to some
okay.
goblin music.
While we do that, I have another question.
What's the question?
The first one is for all of us, and it says, "Do we think we can get cryptidology as a major here at Moravian?" And then the second one goes to Johnny Cryptid. It says, "What are your credentials?"
Oh.
Ooh.
Which one do we want to answer first?
I'll answer the second one because it kind of leads into the first.
Okay.
So I studied for 4 years at the National University of Kazakhstan, where they didn't have cryptidology. I would like to introduce cryptidology to this region, but over in Kazakhstan, it's not called cryptidology. It's actually goblinology.
Whoa.
Goblinology.
But I don't recall. It's actually not goblinology, but can you search up? It's goblin, but in Kazakhstan. It's Kazakhstani.
Gotcha.
So
I think it's with a K. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. You got it.
There you go. It's right there.
You got it.
In Kazakh language.
Yeah.
That would be. Let's look at this one. Let's look at this one. Johnny Cryptid, how would you pronounce
How would
that?
you say that? Could you tell us?
Being a natural Kazakh.
Why just we're experiencing technical issues.
He said it like
translating.
he said it like 5 times. I think the mics might have cut out. I
Yeah,
think the mics might have cut out.
We're not repeating it though.
Yeah, we won't repeat it. But yeah. Anyways, continue your little lecture story.
So in Kazakhstan, I was a very famous goblin hunter, but after a while, became very empathetic, and I decided that I would not, hunt them down. I would give them opportunities to work at H&M shops and factories. So, in return, I got nothing. I would like to get like a discount at H&M for my work.
So you did you like donate the goblins to the H&M?
No, it was I guess you could call it a catch and release program.
Okay.
And their natural habitat is just an H&M factory.
That's beautiful. So, are goblins born in Kazakhstan?
That's a good question.
Oh wait, hold on. Wait, we got.
Wobbling.
And that's the class. And that's the class about goblins that he took.
It's actually it's pronounced woblinology. Is that correct?
That would be
Woblinology,
correct.
yes. So, how are you gonna go about getting kind of a goblinology, cryptidology class put into Moravian University's curriculum?
That is a good question. And I would like to make it a gen ed class because it's very important to know
Mm-hmm.
woblinology, cryptidology, and this part of the world. And if you decide to like intern or work in Kazakhstan,
Fascinating.
given the growing H&M industry.
Yeah, I agree.
I think there are some professors that I even took classes for in the last semester that would love to teach woblinology, cryptidology, any sort of these goblin or monster-based classes.
Something involving maybe like a ghoul of sort, maybe like a little green ghoul.
A little green. Now, are ghouls connected to goblins at all, or is that?
I kind of, when I say little green ghouls, I mean goblins, but okay, hold on. Here's
Because when
my-
I think of a ghoul, I think of more of a ghost.
And we're,
Mhm.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
But there's the game Ghouls and Goblins, and this definitely separates the two.
Yeah.
It definitely
yeah.
separates the two. So ghouls and goblins are definitely see. This is a ghoul.
Okay, a ghoul is more like maybe closer to a zombie.
Yeah. Whereas a goblin is this.
Is a little fantastical creature.
Yes, but there's also these kind of goblins.
That goblin looks to me more like an elf.
This is a goblin ghoul.
Oh.
So, is there chance for ghouls and goblins to cross over?
Are
into
we
one?
saying like in their biology, like okay, so clearly ghouls are fertile and goblins are fertile,
Yes.
but when they would crossbreed, would a goblin ghoul be like a fertile creature? Is it its own
Hmm.
species? Can it go and create new population?
That's a great question. And this
don't
is
know.
exactly why we need a goblinology class.
That is
Mhm.
true.
Because these are questions that I guarantee we've all asked ourselves. This isn't the first time we've asked ourselves these questions.
Every young mind wants to know, like, as a society, we've kind of written off monsters and goblins and ghouls and ghosts as all of these things they're fiction. But we're learning through this podcast that they are well integrated into
That's
our
not the
society.
case.
Yeah,
And we need to be knowledgeable on these
Mm.
I
things.
agree. I really like Dr. Monster's book, Allegory of a Goblin.
That's a good
Yes,
That is a
everyone
good
go get it on Amazon. It's out now.
Yeah,
Isn't it
and-
like
And buy his
Um,
merch too. His merch is
yeah.
awesome. His merch is amazing.
isn't it like $78?
Yeah, it's a pretty big book. You know, there's a lot to cover in
How
it.
many pages is it?
Like 10,000 pages.
Oh my god.
Wow.
It's,
Wow.
It's a lot. It's all the research that I've done, all of the studies that I've conducted, every finding, every data. I leave nothing out of it. I'm
I
not like
mean-
these other
Mhm.
scientists that crop and edit. You know, I
agree.
give everything to the public.
I
you know.
agree.
I'm just trying to spread awareness. You know.
Mhm.
And
this
for
type
like
of
guys like
information.
us though, that's kind of like a light read though when you think about it. 'Cause
No, it is.
I
Yeah.
read like 12,000 page books every day
Dude,
before I go to bed.
I read like 20 books like a day.
Oh, you read 20 books a day?
I read 20 books a day.
I read 20 12,000 page books a day though, so I'm a little smarter.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Johnny Cryptid, how many books have you read in the past like hour?
I actually read. So I had a class, and I woke up half an hour before it, and I read the entire War and Peace, like just because I could
Okay.
before that class.
Wow.
That's awesome. Did you read any other books in between that time too? Or?
I also read, the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Oh my god, that's
Fascinating. Just for fun, huh?
Yeah, because even then it also provided some insight as
It does,
to
definitely.
the
Nice.
genius of Tolkien and his perspective on goblins.
Yeah, and like I really like J.K. Rowling's
Oh,
interpretation
yeah.
of goblins and
I
how they're
love
bankers
her.
with
Yeah,
like
they are in the banks though.
uh,
They are in
Oh.
the
how
bank.
they're
Gringotts.
okay.
Gringotts
This
is
is just
real.
actually terrible. J.K. Rowling, why she didn't have to do that with the goblins?
Remember the one scene where they're in Gringotts and they have to like steal the Horcrux, and then there's like that one little goblin that like messes everything up for them. That ruined my perception of goblins for a while.
And that's the thing. J.K. Rowling is openly anti-goblin,
Yeah,
and I don't appreciate that. I cannot support J.K. Rowling
No.
anymore due to her stance on goblins.
she definitely has. You can see she has a stance. She has more of a positive stance
Mhm.
for elves, but for goblins, it's
I
it's a
also
little
kind
bit
of
more
don't like.
negative.
You know how we were talking about how LeBron later in life, because he
Mhm.
felt comfortable doing so, became a goblin.
Yeah,
mhm.
She doesn't support that,
no, she doesn't.
and I personally I can't support her for that because if you don't feel comfortable with who you are and you feel like that is a means to make yourself feel more yourself,
Hmm.
you should be able to be whoever you want to be.
I agree.
You could be a goblin if you want to. It's
Mm,
not that
yeah.
hard to understand. And I don't know.
And like it's obvious because LeBron James has been taking the green gas for a while.
He
So
has been
it's-
he has been gassing for a minute.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's just.
And he's been eating licorice on the sideline. He's been eating licorice on the bench. Little red vines on the bench. So tell me he's not a goblin.
Yeah.
Tell me he's not a goblin. Tell me
Exactly.
Willem Dafoe isn't a goblin. He's the first goblin advocate.
Is Bronny
was?
James a goblin then?
Who?
I think
Bronny James, LeBron James' son.
Bronny James, let's see.
Is he a goblin?
Now, maybe not on the court, but he did
No,
win that
definitely
Call
not
of
on the
Duty
court.
tournament.
He did. He did win against like phase players.
And now, do goblins have like one defining skill? Are they like the dwarves from Snow White?
Yeah, I like to think that goblins, they find one thing and they devote themselves to that one thing.
Okay.
Hmm.
If a goblin, let's say, there's like a goblin might like, coins or something, it's gonna devote its life to collecting coins. And it's not gonna
I
let
agree,
anything
I
stop him. LeBron James loves basketball. Nothing. He's not gonna retire.
I
He's
agree.
a guy. He's gonna keep on doing it.
You gotta have that goblin mentality. I see.
Exactly. Goblins know how to lock in.
Do you think when Bronny James went into cardiac arrest, he came back a goblin? Or do you think he was a goblin before?
I think
That's tough to say.
the goblin genes may have like saved him.
I agree.
I think so too.
Johnny Cryptid has something to say.
As to Bronny James' status,
Yes.
I believe the goblin genes revived him very much the same way it did with Norman Osborn.
Ah.
So we may be seeing like the first superhuman in the NBA very soon.
Okay.
So do you feel this is like a? Do you feel that he is two? There's two consciousnesses inside of Bronny. There's regular Bronny and then Goblin Bronny, and Goblin Bronny is just waiting to come out.
I am worried about that possibility.
Now, does the extra personality inherently have to be evil, like Willem Dafoe?
No,
Okay.
because I'm assuming that like he wasn't fired or like
True.
forced to take it or anything. He just took it, to help him. And I think that this personality that comes from being a goblin is going to help in the long run.
To help him hone instinct. I agree. I agree. What's your guys' favorite goblins?
Favorite goblins?
Yeah, what's your favorite goblin? Let's look at goblins. Let's look at
Goblins,
goblin
look
pictures.
look up red cap.
What is a red cap?
Look up goblin red cap.
What is this?
And behold red cap.
This is your favorite goblin?
Red cap is he's one of the not so nice ones. Every so often you get one that's like
Why are there
a little more violent.
What is Red Cap's origin as a goblin?
Red cap, so basically he like lives in like a cave, right?
Okay, he's in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Is this a Yu-Gi-Oh card?
They might have made him into a Yu-Gi. No, that's Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
Get it right.
I'm sorry.
What
sir.
is this?
So basically he lives in a cave, right? And he
Okay.
he defends his land, and anyone who comes on his
Highland
land,
goblins with a
he-
Scottish
he
border.
throws stones at them, and then he dips his hat in their blood, and that's why he's called Red Cap.
Well,
Fascinating.
I think he's just defending himself, low key.
No, he is. He doesn't like people on his property. He puts up multiple signs saying, "Don't go on my property," and people don't listen.
Yeah, when we let people do whatever they want to in Texas, we gotta let Red Cap defend his own property.
That's
you know
true.
what I
Red
mean?
Cap defends his block.
What's this frog? Care to explain?
The frog.
Yeah, care to
Yeah,
explain
the frog with the red caps.
That's his little pet. That's his
Oh,
little
okay.
buddy.
Care to
He
explain the
helps him.
bucket?
Sometimes, if you're walking in Red Cap's, land, sometimes you'll hear a bucket like banging. That's what they say it sounds like. It sounds like if you bang a bucket.
I had a little something I wanted to bring up.
Okay, well, what's up?
Does I mean, if he qualifies as one, I think this would be my favorite goblin, Freddy Freaker.
Who?
I think
You think Freddy Freaker could be a goblin?
think-
The thing is he's kind of yellow,
Freddy Freaker is definitely a little ghoul.
a
A
ghoul.
little ghoul.
He's
think
he's
goblin.
definitely something.
I'll let
He
that
might-
slide as a
yeah.
goblin.
I
He
think
might be a
he's
mix of different
goblin-esque.
things.
Oh. I thought Johnny Cryptid had something to say.
Do you have something to say about Freddy Freaker?
Not about Freddy Freaker, but my favorite goblin.
Okay.
Okay. What's your favorite goblin?
My favorite goblin would be the one I most recently caught
Oh, okay.
in that catch and release program.
Did you get a
Name.
personally bond with him?
Yeah, his name is Lord William III of the Northern Highlands.
Wow.
He came from an aristocracy in
That's
Scotland
beautiful.
and ended up in Kazakhstan. So he's my favorite because he makes the most sweaters in the workshop.
That's
now.
beautiful. That's just
Freddy Freaker's in Gmod.
That's beautiful.
Can we call this number?
900-490 freak. Give it a call. Give it a call. Give it a call.
I'm giving it a
Dylan, call
right
the
now.
number for me.
We're gonna call the Freddy Freaker hotline and see if we can get a goblin.
So it's 1 or yeah.
I don't need a one.
900 490 and then freak. So 3 3s.
No, that
Yeah.
3
333 and then
R is
777 E, which is going to be 2 3s, A, 2, and then a K, which is 2 5s. All right, call the number, please. We're calling Freddy Freaker
I think
live.
I think you only need to do the number once. I think when you do freak, you only do the number that corresponds, like the letter that corresponds to the number
Oh.
one time.
Should I recall?
Yeah.
You might want to recall. Sorry, I've always had a little bit of an issue with typing in words to the phone.
So
Laz
then it's-
Phasar's
so
used to
then it's
alien
3.
languages.
I am.
What's the R? 3 7 3 2.
All right, we're recalling Freddy Freaker. We're going to see if he picks up for us.
This hopefully this goes well. Apparently I have no service.
Oh.
We may not be
Um,
able to call
so-
Freddy while we're in here. Apologies to all the audio listeners.
Is it ringing?
I'm not hearing a ring.
Oh.
Darn.
I'm a speaker.
All right. Sorry to all Freddy Freaker fans.
Freak
out
that noise.
forget that noise. Anyways.
Oh, his famous catchphrase. Oh,
Now,
famous
something
catchphrase.
I wanted to delve into real quick is what is the origin of a goblin?
Where?
Because it
Do
seems like all of the
goblins
goblins we have been talking
come
about have
from?
very different, like,
Yeah, I believe it's from a European.
Now are they?
European
But are they from
tales.
Kazakhstan? Like
maybe they moved out to Kazakhstan, kind of like with the Sasquatch.
I don't.
What
Mm.
So it seems
Well-
like goblins used to be little toys.
little? I don't.
I
They
don't
look.
know.
They look kind of alive.
But I think they came to life. They used to be little toys, and they came to life and became.
So maybe like a witch doctor created
Maybe,
these
maybe,
awful
maybe.
things.
Maybe. I mean, have you guys heard of the theory of evolution?
The goblin shark.
There
Oh
is
my
such a
goodness.
thing
I
as the
forgot
goblin
about
shark.
I forgot about the goblin
And
shark.
okay, fish, monkey, fish, goblin.
Fish monkey,
Wait,
fish goblin.
Search up. I think we're onto something.
No.
Goblin fish.
Go-
goblin shark.
Okay,
A
hold
shark
on.
is a fish.
And we came from fish. So goblin
So there,
fish.
there is some sort of Just as how Sasquatch came from, or Sasquatch was originally once something more akin to fish monkey.
Fishy goblin.
Oh my god.
Ooh. Wait. Look up Gilgrunt.
Oh my god, he's onto something.
Gilgrunt from Skylanders?
Gilgrunt.
He is kind of like a
He-
cross between a goblin
He's
and
got
a
the
fish.
teeth of a
He's-
goblin, right?
So, I think this is beautiful because we've sort of found this missing link.
Again.
Again. Like
Wait,
Gilgrunt-
hang on. This reminds me. Are trolls sort of a subspecies of goblin?
I think as gorillas are a type of like
Ape?
ape
Like there's
in,
monkeys
like,
and gorillas.
the-
There's goblins and trolls.
yeah, you see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like monkeys, little capuchin, that's a little goblin kind of creature.
So like the goblin is like the chimp of the goblin monkey world.
yes.
But then I have a question for you guys.
Mhm.
What would be the the Yeti equivalent of goblins? Because Sasquatch.
Well, that was due to a lot of like the whole Yeti being the gay Sasquatch,
Yeah.
and they moved. That was due to a lot of like
was
civil
years,
unrest
yeah.
and,
Okay.
and
I
issues.
think
I kind
They
of
don't. Do goblins not have those kinds of issues? You think?
there is a cold goblin from Wally Kazam, but this is the only real
this is Bob
report.
Goblin actually.
Yeah,
Get it right.
Bob
It's Bob
Goblin.
Goblin. I
My-
watch the show every day.
my
No,
apologies.
so
I
did
watch the
I.
show every
I
day.
remember this show.
My personal theory is that goblins are highly adaptive creatures. You could see goblins everywhere and anywhere. There's goblins here. There's goblins on the West Coast. There's goblins in the South. There's
Mhm.
goblins in Canada.
Okay.
Goblins they're so widespread. They're overpopulated. They're
Mhm.
running rampant.
They are.
And I think that it's kind of a scenario where they just exist. There's no subdivision of goblins. Goblins exist in a perfect kind of like unified labor force
Yeah.
Beautiful.
where there's no war. They divvy up all the profit and they're just here. I don't think it's a Yeti Sasquatch situation. I think
I
Okay.
think they
exist
are
everywhere.
much more put together
They
and
are.
community driven than the Sasquatch.
They
I
are.
swear to God, my doctor's a goblin. I swear to God, and he's the greatest guy I've ever seen. He is the greatest guy I've ever seen.
That's
Something
beautiful.
something interesting I just remembered. One of my friends, he may or may not be listening. I'll just call him by his first name. My friend Owen. When he was a baby, he kind of looked like a goblin, and we have talked
Interesting.
about this, and it's reminding me,
Baby goblins.
baby goblin.
So he kind of like this.
Yeah. Was
Sort
that
of,
him?
yeah.
Hmm.
He just sort of had some like pointed attributes, but he looks good now.
Was he green also, or
Lacking the green color, but maybe
Hmm.
oh my goodness,
Oh my God, is this him?
that
Is
may
that-
have
is
that
that him?
that may have been another photo.
Okay. What about this one?
Mm,
You said he lacked the green. This is kind of like
that is kind of close.
I think my personal theory on that is that maybe it's kind of goblins are closer to humans than we think.
I think so. I think there might be some correlation between elves too,
And elves.
And
I think
because I mean
Elves.
elves do share a lot of the same attributes
I
with
mean,
goblins.
they do.
they're ju-
I think Johnny Cryptid has something to say on our theory.
Johnny, what's on your mind?
I know this might be fringe theory, but I believe that in this day and age, it's goblins that work in the North Pole rather than elves.
Oh,
I've noticed a strange drop in elf population, while I believe that Santa has requested shipments or extra workers
hmm
occasionally.
Mhm. So are you kind of saying that as it's kind of like goblins are migrating around the world
That's true.
and elves are kind of like their population's lowering, they're not meeting other elves as much and they're kind of becoming the minority as opposed to goblins.
Yeah, and I'd say at this point, if you're getting an H&M product, it was made by a goblin for sure
Hmm.
from Kazakhstan.
Does that mean that all people who celebrate Christmas and the ideology of Santa, they are also supporting this goblin-led workforce?
I think so. This goblin industry.
Santa
That-
goblins.
Now, oh my God, maybe Santa himself is a goblin.
Maybe he was all along, and he was using the red to kind of cover up
Red
his
cap.
green complex.
Red cap.
Wait,
Red
Santa
cap.
Santa may have been one of the first red-capped goblins.
That might have been the first sighting of red cap.
And
Was Santa?
is Santa like he is giving? Let's get this straight. Santa is giving.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the media and the way it represents these goblins is just wrong. Because these goblins, if they are Santa, if Redcap is a goblin, they're trying to put him down and make him seem like something he's not. He's giving. They're inherently giving, nurturing creatures. Think about how we started this.
Yeah.
Do you think we could beat a goblin in a fight? We all said yes.
Yeah.
But do these goblins even want to fight?
That's true.
That's a great question.
I think they might just be defending themselves because every source we've come up with, goblins have been giving back. They were helping Messi. They're making sweaters for us for
H&M.
very little pay, and
H&M.
they're happy. Cheddar Goblin, he's just giving children mac
Macaroni
and cheese. I think we were wrong about goblins.
I agree. And that's why I see a lot of people do these goblin hunting programs. They do not catch and release. They'll take these goblins, they'll fillet them, they'll turn them into sweaters, they'll turn them into goblin sushimi. Johnny Cryptid here, he's catching the goblins that are afraid, personally have nowhere to go. He's giving them a job. He's taking them to safe places, and I just appreciate someone actually.
I
doing
really
something.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that there's someone out there looking out for the little man, literally.
the little guy.
That's
Clever,
true.
clever.
I'm just doing my part, and I hope that with an introduction of cryptidology, maybe in an upcoming semester, we can start to change the norm
I agree.
and introduce goblins to everyday life.
Maybe they can even we can give them an education and they can go further.
Exactly. Because the only programs I really know of that kind of put out things for goblins to get education are in Kazakhstan. And I
That is
think it's
true.
really ahead of its time for that. I think that as a country, although Kazakhstan may have had its setbacks, people like Borat Dagviev, he is out here, and as well as Johnny Cryptid, educating these goblins, showing them that they can also mean something in society. And I think people like J.K. Rowling, they're sick in the head. They're disgusting stains on this earth.
That is true.
And if you don't support goblins, I don't mess with you.
I think we can all agree with that statement. If you do not support goblins, get off of this podcast right now because we are a
This is not
proud
the podcast
sponsor
for you.
of goblins and we love goblins and we
Mm.
just want to do the
Mhm.
best for them.
And I'd like to say one thing, the media and everything that they like to portray goblins to be, and everything that we know about them that we think we know. I just want to say that that's all noise.
I agree.
And let's
Screw that noise.
Screw that noise. Let's move forward. Screw that noise. Leave it all behind. We're moving forward, and we're
We're releasing Screw That Noise t-shirts next week,
Yeah,
actually, by
yeah.
the way, just in case you're wondering, with goblins on it. Anyways, I think another starking realization I've had is Johnny Cryptid knows this song. It's from the animated Hobbit movie. Where there's a whip,
Oh,
there's a way.
I love this song.
I think, now, correct me if I'm right, or correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny Cryptid, but the goblins kind of were being forced to do these things under some sort of militaristic regime.
Yes.
Now, who was running this regime? The goblins themselves is one kind of central dictator, or was it someone else forcing the goblins to do these actions?
See, this is where we start to question where Lord of the Rings is coming from, and I can tell you now, Sauron is based on a true story.
Okay.
Sauron is based on an individual who did force the goblins to fight for him,
Okay.
which gave rise to that culture
And,
and that song.
I agree. So somebody kind of used this one scenario where these goblins, these poor defenseless creatures, were taken advantage of, and kind of made it all they are. Is what you're saying?
That's what the records show.
It's messed up. I do not mess with goblophobes at all. I'm realizing. I realized I used to have goblophobic tendencies, but never again. Never again will I even utter a terrible sentence about a goblin. Yeah. big stuff.
Real big stuff.
And Freddy Freaker is a goblin advocate that's been paving the way for years. We didn't even know.
Mhm.
We have.
Yeah.
Cheddar
been.
Goblin,
Right under our noses.
my doctor and orthodontist, they're goblins.
My accountant, he is a goblin.
Exactly. Do you know any goblins personally?
I'm trying to think. I think there may have been some goblins in my high school. They would kind of run around, and I would always see them. I'd be like, "What the hell was that?"
And see, that's a goblophobic ideology.
And I didn't even realize at the time.
They're just like you and me.
Yeah. Well, I think it starts in the school systems.
I
is
agree.
we
I think
need
it
to-
does
we need
too.
to change.
And that's why we need cryptidology courses.
Exactly.
And I think cryptidology shouldn't just be something studied in college.
Mm.
I think it should be in high school, elementary school, and preschool as well.
Hell,
and
I
middle
think-
school.
I think there should be schools, just like med schools, but
Mm.
put towards cryptidology
Exactly.
and learning how to build a better environment for all of us on this
Mhm.
this green earth.
You know,
the-
it should be to the point where baby's first words are goblin.
I agree.
Should
And
be.
we have these wonderful DEI programs that are supposed to promote these things. Where are the goblins? Diversity. We need DIG.
Mhm.
Diversity, equity, inclusion goblins.
Yeah.
That's
you
true.
know,
I
Where's
think
the goblin representation?
I agree. It's
This,
non-existent.
this is why we have these problems. This is why, everyone has these kind of mindsets.
Mhm.
Because there's no representation except for what the media portrays them out to be, which is these creatures that like violence. But that's not the case. Red Cap wasn't. That
he was
just,
defending himself.
that he was defending himself, and that was just also could have just been Santa Claus the whole time too.
Could have been.
So it just shows you like what people like with their how their minds
You
think.
could be programmed.
Yeah.
You could be programmed.
and,
oh, we
and
got
we're
the
not like that.
Freddy Freak.
Freddy Freaker lyrics. Can we put on the? Oh, can we play it?
It's
Oh, it's on
Oh.
Amazon Music.
We're just
It's
gonna.
We're
probably
gonna
on
pull up the
YouTube.
Freddy Freaker song just for memoriam.
I think he died last month.
I think he did.
He
I was
did.
really
He did.
Yeah.
And,
hurt me. It was
That's
like
why I
right,
didn't pick
right
up
at
the
right at the
phone.
start of the semester.
That's why he didn't pick up the phone.
Right.
Forgot about that. Sometimes I still like to call just to hear the ring.
I do too. Oh my God, look at him. I remember these days. Johnny Cryptid knew Freddy Freak personally. I won't lie. Oh, Freddy Freaker. I think he died of an M&M overdose or like a Reese's overdose or something like that, which is again rampant in the goblin community because although they do love candy, unregulated use of candy can lead to some serious consequences. Some serious consequences.
That is unfortunately true, and we've had to start rationing them in Kazakhstan,
Yeah.
and there will be shortages to come, unfortunately, because I don't think Reese's was agreeing to the deal to provide Reese's Pieces and M&Ms, and I really want to go to Hershey just to like clarify that because a lot of goblins need it, but also at a sustainable rate. We need a program
Mm-hmm.
so that
I
the goblins
agree.
can survive and continue making H&M sweaters.
I agree. It's kind of we need to find this middle ground where goblins where goblins are being given candy, but also not given an overabundance of candy that'll make them sick and die, as Freddy Freaker did.
No.
And again, nobody's thought about this before because we haven't had the cryptidology classes to teach
Mhm.
us
No.
the effects of candy on goblins.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It's like I don't know. It's terrible. It's
Like-
terrible. They need it, but they can't have too much of it.
No.
And that's what's poetic about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we don't understand.
Looks like Dr. Monster wanted to pull up this quick video. A little bit off topic, but it kind of falls into the same vein of what we're
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
learn
yeah.
on this podcast. The video is called "What Aliens Really Sound Like." It's 12 years old.
Yeah,
Let's
he was
watch it.
jumping up and down for us to play this.
I really want to watch this video.
All right, let's see.
Oh my God. Hold on. Guys. Aliens are green.
They are green.
They are green. Goblins are green.
Hang on. I think I may have a theory.
What's your theory?
This kind of ties back. I think we're gonna find eventually that all of these cryptids, all of them kind of tie back to the aliens
In Roswell, New Mexico.
that crash landed, created New Jersey. The radiation made the Bigfoot, the Yeti.
Yep.
I think the aliens may have. I think this may have been even before the Yeti, and it was just something like. I think the aliens, sort like the ones that survived, or at least their genes that
Mhm.
survived, I think they were passed on to other like organisms, such as the goblin shark, and that sort of then became goblins.
I agree.
We have a little special video put on right now.
Our buddy Glarp sent it in. Our buddy Glarp sent it
Yeah.
Yeah, he's our guy. He's our boy.
in. Yeah.
We love Glarp.
Anyways.
Shout out Glarp.
Shout out Glarp.
I know he's tuning in.
I think there's a question.
Oh.
Oh.
Hold on.
Oh,
Oh.
question?
We'll momentarily. We'll pull this back up at the end. Maybe this will play us
That'll be
out
our
a
little
bit,
outro
yeah.
song.
Question is there a specific candy that is most lethal to goblins?
I think I actually know this one.
Okay. You can answer that one.
Take the floor.
I believe it's Smarties.
You believe it's Smarties?
I don't. So the thing with the goblins is, I know that they don't produce enough saliva.
Mm.
So I believe that the concentrate of sugar that is in those Smarties and just how chalky they are, I think it kind of just does it's too much for them. It dries out their mouth, it clogs their throat, they cannot breathe. And the goblins just they can't really they can't function.
I think that's exactly what I've saying.
I've
been
seen
seeing.
I've seen a lot of them, like unfortunately, like in like sewer drains, and I see the Smartie wrappers, and I'm like,
And you just know.
I think we really need to reach out to the Smarties and tell them to just
Yeah.
like
think
they
that's-
gotta stop production.
Guys, this starts with us not buying Smarties.
I agree. Boycott Smarties. Everybody.
If you're listening to this, boycott Smarties.
Who's in charge of Smarties? Let's look this up. What if, because if they're made by the same people making the M&Ms and
They might be.
Smarties,
Liz-
Liz D. Liz D, we're coming for you.
Liz D. You started a war.
The Smarties candy
He's on
company.
my
Sarah
op list
D.
now.
In where?
And Sarah D.
Oh, and Sarah D.
Don't
Wait,
let me-
there's 3 of them.
They'll let me catch you on 63rd.
Sarah D, Jessica D, and Liz D.
I'm assuming
There's
they have
3.
relations.
I'm
This is
assuming
not
they're
looking good
all
for you guys.
sisters. Wait, scroll back up. Go to the 3rd picture.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that face.
Here's all of them.
I'm
together.
taking a photo. Go back.
Here's all of 'em together.
Remember that. God.
I'm so mad. I'm hopping mad right now.
They're benefiting off of goblin addiction to sugar while also trying to eliminate the goblins at the same time. And this is a problem.
The CEOs of Smarties are trying to take out the goblin populations, and we will not have it.
Oh my
No.
god. You know what I think they are?
What?
Elves.
You might be right. I think
Afraid.
Mm.
Look
Look
at the
at
look at the
Trying to
middle
control
one.
the goblins.
Middle one does kind of like an elf.
Elf adjacent.
She'd be an elf, yeah.
I think something I'm realizing. I think there might be more elves in like
the
in
candy
in
industry.
society
Oh, in
Hold on.
than the
society.
goblins because they resemble us humans more. Oh my god. The Keebler elf.
It's been under our nose the entire time.
He looks.
Look at that horrific photo.
It all starts with who's making these, who's in charge of these companies. If an elf was in charge of Keebler Elf, it would make sense why
Hang on.
why he looks
Pull
so
up
jolly.
Crack, Snapple, and Pop.
Wait,
Hang on.
this is what's happening.
They're elves, aren't they?
and their whole
This
thing-
is
yeah,
what's happening.
Their whole thing is give us sugar, put sugar in the cereal.
They are,
They got
and
they
they
got
have
Garfield.
the Rice Krispie treats too.
Oh my
They're-
god.
They,
The elves have been
saying add more
silencing the
sugar, add-
goblins this whole time.
Add a marshmallow to our cereal. Make it more sugary. Add
Just to-
M&Ms. Add whatever you want. That's what they're saying.
Can we look up elves in media?
Okay.
And they're always given the better rap. Like elves
I'm
are
really
like, oh
saying,
yeah, they're fine, and
if you
people are
think
like,
about it,
oh, we love
J.K.
elves.
Rowling too in Harry Potter. Dobby, you know, yeah, everyone cried when he died.
Remember
You know,
this one guy
everyone
from
was
Lord
so
of the Rings that
attached to
everyone
him.
loves?
Yeah.
Why don't they
what's
love
his
the
name?
goblins?
Look at these guys. They're chilling with Santa.
And Santa's a goblin.
Santa is a goblin.
He was trying to reform these elves.
We had it twisted the whole time. The goblins are the sweet little angels, and the elves are the sick,
they're evil.
twisted. Look at this guy. He's making a mess.
Oh my
The
god.
sick
Somebody's gonna have to clean it up. You
Look
know
at
who's gonna have
this.
to clean that up? A goblin. I bet you.
Elves. They're sick, twisted little creatures. I agree. Goblin's always picking up the slack for an
Yeah.
elf.
And it's always been red Christmas colors. Red and green.
There's always been a feud.
Hang on.
There's always been a feud. They've always been fighting over this.
This is Red Cap. Red Cap's colors. The goblins are green in his red cap? Are you kidding me?
Oh wait. You're right.
Oh my god.
You're right.
And the elves, they did their best to wipe out the green color. And they're like, oh, we're elves on the shelf. We're all red.
I would punch Dobby in his face multiple times until there
would
was
too.
nothing left but teeth and blood.
That's true.
They made Dobby seem so innocent,
I
but
hate Dobby.
in actuality,
Johnny Cryptid, do you have anything to put on this matter?
Any final thoughts before we play ourselves out?
I think Dobby is a very unique case.
okay.
Why?
Because he wasn't necessarily. I don't think he was a bad goblin. I think he.
You mean a
He-
bad
no,
elf?
he's an elf.
Oh,
Dobby's a
I don't
house
know.
elf.
I don't know.
believe is what they call him.
He's a house elf.
House elf.
I have seen contradicting reports as to Dobby's real status.
Mhm.
Well, J.K.
I-
Rowling doesn't know what she's doing anyway, so
It might be J.K.
Can't trust a
Rowling's
word that lady
intention to
says.
confuse us.
that is true.
Mhm.
She's always been anti-goblin.
That's another concern of mine.
She has.
She's been anti-goblin but pro-elf.
All right, listeners, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Alien Meeting. We'll be back next Wednesday from 12 to 1. We'll be working on getting the Instagram set up so you can put in your suggestions to what you'd like to hear us talk about. Any ideas on what we'll be talking about next week?
Maybe horse creatures.
Horse creatures.
Horse creatures. Whoa.
There's a lot of
List
horses in
horses
mythology.
mythology. This guy.
Interesting. Gillier.
Gillier.
Gillier
Classic.
the horse.
I think we'll come up with some. Maybe we can focus on ghosts.
We
Ooh,
could do ghosts.
I've seen 5 ghosts.
5
Mhm.
ghosts
I've seen 5 ghosts. In my
I've
life.
seen 3.
in your life.
In my life, I've seen 5.
I've seen
ghosts.
3.
I saw 5 ghosts.
I stayed in a haunted house one time.
That is
Yeah.
pretty scary.
Scary.
Dr.
scary
Monster
moment.
lives in a haunted house.
I
I've heard.
do. I do. I have many ghost neighbors and ghost residents.
That's beautiful. Do you have a
Alright.
ghost apartment complex?
Yeah, it's kind of like I have like roommates. Like we all like share. the
But they're like
place.
ghosts.
Yeah, but they're ghosts.
Okay.
Fascinating.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, we're gonna let the final minutes of this beautiful radio show play out with Green Alien singing "Just the Two of Us."
Our boy Glorp.
Thank
Shout
you,
out
Glorp.
Glorp.